Everyone thinks advanced flight began with the Wright brothers. They're wrong. The year is 1903, Kitty Hawk, or so the story goes. But what if, thousands of years before, a civilization already soared through the skies, not in wood and fabric biplanes, but in astonishing machines powered by unknown forces? What if their blueprints lie hidden in ancient texts, dismissed as myth? We're talking about Vimanas. These aren't just fanciful tales. They're described with astounding detail in some of India's oldest spiritual and scientific texts, specifically the Vedas and the Mahabharata. Machines said to navigate air, water, and even space. Machines that, if real, would redefine our understanding of history and technology. Our journey begins with the Ramayana, an epic poem penned perhaps as early as 400 BCE. Here, we encounter the Pushpaka Vimana, a magnificent, self-propelled aerial chariot. Not a simple cart, but a vehicle capable of carrying multitudes, flying at the speed of thought, and powered by a sound that makes men tremble. This wasn't just a metaphor for a fast journey. The texts describe its structure, composed of several metals, furnished with wheels, and capable of moving in all directions. It even possessed observation windows, far beyond the scope of any known technology from that era. Then there's the Mahabharata, another colossal epic, where Vimanas are integral to battles between gods and mortals. Here, we read of iron machines, glowing like fire, capable of hurling fiery darts and producing thunderbolts. These sound less like chariots and more like formidable weapons platforms. Skeptics argue these are simply mythological embellishments, poetic license. But consider the sheer consistency of the descriptions across multiple, distinct texts. It's not just one isolated mention. It's a recurring motif, often with technical specificity that feels out of place for pure fantasy. One of the most intriguing and controversial texts is the Vaimanika Shastra. Allegedly an ancient treatise on aeronautics, it resurfaced in the early 20th century. This text details construction, propulsion, pilot training, even specific types of Vimanas and their operational protocols. It describes 4 types of Vimanas: Rukma, Sandara, Shakuna, and Tripura, each with distinct shapes, purposes, and propulsion methods. The Rukma, for instance, is cone-shaped, the Sandara rocket-like, the Tripura a 3-tiered vessel that could supposedly travel underwater and in space. The Vaimanika Shastra even discusses propulsion. It mentions using mercury vortex engines and solar energy. A mercury vortex engine, if it were real, would require an understanding of physics far beyond what we attribute to ancient civilizations. Could this be a lost technology? However, this is where the mystery deepens. Modern scholars, upon examining the Vaimanika Shastra, have largely dismissed it as a modern fabrication. Critics point to its language, which doesn't perfectly match classical Sanskrit, and its engineering descriptions, which are often deemed physically impossible. In 1974, a study by researchers at the Indian Institute of Science in Bangalore concluded that the aircraft described were aeronautically unsound. They argued that the text was written no earlier than 1904, making it a product of 20th century imagination, perhaps inspired by early aviation attempts. Yet even if the Vaimanika Shastra itself is a modern text, it doesn't entirely invalidate the older references in the Ramayana and Mahabharata. Those epic poems predate modern aviation by millennia. What inspired those detailed descriptions of flying machines? Some proponents of ancient Vimanas suggest they were extraterrestrial craft, misinterpreted by ancient peoples as divine chariots. This ancient astronaut theory posits that advanced beings visited Earth, sharing or demonstrating technology that was then chronicled in mythological terms. The Nazca lines in Peru are often cited as another example of ancient peoples creating designs only visible from the air. Could the Vimanas be another piece of this global puzzle, evidence of a lost global civilization or visitors from beyond? Others believe the Vimanas were a product of a truly advanced, but now lost, human civilization. Perhaps a precursor to our own, destroyed by cataclysm, leaving only echoes in these ancient texts. A civilization whose technological prowess we are only now beginning to catch up to. Consider the parallels to modern aerospace concepts. The detailed descriptions of multi-stage propulsion, various flight modes, and even stealth capabilities in some Vimana accounts resonate uncannily with 20th and 21st century aviation and space travel. But the critical question remains: where is the archaeological evidence? Where are the Vimana remains, the landing pads, the ancient factories? The lack of tangible physical proof is the strongest argument against their literal existence as flying machines. Some argue that such evidence could be buried, undiscovered, or even deliberately suppressed. The sheer scale of ancient India and the challenges of excavation could mean vast discoveries still await. Or perhaps the materials used were perishable, leaving no trace. Another theory suggests the Vimanas represent a symbolic or spiritual understanding of flight and movement, not a literal technological one. The speed of thought could be meditative travel, not mechanical propulsion. The fiery darts could be spiritual energy, not physical weapons. Yet for those who believe, the Vimanas offer a tantalizing glimpse into a forgotten past. A past where the line between myth and technology blurs, and the capabilities of ancient civilizations might have far exceeded our contemporary assumptions. The Vimana mystery forces us to confront our biases about history. Are we too quick to dismiss ancient accounts as mere fantasy, simply because they challenge our current understanding of technological progression? Or is the skepticism a necessary safeguard against fanciful claims? The debate surrounding Vimanas is more than just academic. It touches upon our perception of human potential, the origins of our civilization, and the possibility of advanced knowledge lost to the sands of time. It asks us to consider, how much do we truly know about our own past? While concrete archaeological evidence remains elusive, the enduring narratives of the Vimanas continue to captivate. They serve as a powerful reminder that sometimes the most profound truths might be hidden in plain sight, veiled by the very stories we've learned to call myths. So, were Vimanas real flying machines, or simply the magnificent product of ancient imagination? The answer, for now, remains suspended somewhere between verifiable fact and tantalizing possibility. A mystery that continues to fly just beyond our reach. Uncover another hidden chapter of history with our next deep dive.